To celebrate my 66th birthday, I decided to treat myself to a trip down to New Orleans. It's just a short flight on Southwest Airlines down to the Big Easy. And of course, you have to start things off right with a Bloody Mary. An airport shuttle dropped me off at my hotel in the French Quarter. Well, here we are at the Hotel Monteleone. My first stop after checking in at the hotel was lunch at Emerald's Nola restaurant on St. Louis Street, where I had a bowl of gumbo and a barbecued pork po' boy. After lunch, I stopped by one of my favorite bars in the Quarter, the Chart Room, for the first cold one of the trip. Just like at the Ice House back at Houston, they let doggies into this bar too. After a few at the Chart Room, it was time to stroll the Quarter and see what's going on. In addition to street musicians, there is the assortment of psychics and tarot card readers, jugglers, tap dancers, painters, cops, hot dog vendors, caricature artists, tacky t-shirt shops, mule-drawn carriages, magicians, and performance artists. And of course there is art, lots of art, especially around Jackson Square. Much of it just plain bad, and some of it exquisitely bad. Famished after exploring the Quarter, I headed down to Herb Saint restaurant for a fine meal, starting with an arugula salad, followed by pan-seared snapper topped with crab meat. After dinner, I had drinks at the famous Carousel Bar in the Monteleone Hotel. On Saturday, I headed over to Fleur de Lis, a popular place across from the Chart Room, to have a cheap and simple breakfast of scrambled eggs, bacon, grits, and toast. After breakfast, I hopped on the St. Charles trolley to take me out to my alma mater, Tulane University. The trip takes you through the beautiful Garden District of New Orleans. I strolled through the beautiful Tulane campus over to Pocket Park, where the DJs of campus radio station WTUL were doing a remote broadcast as part of their annual marathon fundraiser. I brought them some pictures of WTUL in the 60s.
Ron Scott, who was the general manager of WTUL from 1966 to 1967, he has dropped off a publication, Ron's World, that's got photos from WTUL in it. And
he was also the photographer for the Hullabaloo,
he was,
correct?
Yes. He was the photographer for the Hullabaloo, so he's got a bunch of very, very great photos in here. We have, you guys, this is incredible. I can't believe what I'm looking at right now.
There's about 15 photographs here from the mid-60s, 1966, 67, that Ron took, and it's great to see how we used to do remote broadcasts back then too.
After my WTUL visit, I headed over to Bruno's, a popular hangout for Tulane students even back in the 60s, when it was housed in an older building across the street. I had a couple of pints and a shrimp po' boy for lunch. I got back on the St. Charles trolley for the trip back to the Quarter. The car filled up fast, and many would-be riders were left standing at all the stops all the way back to Canal Street. Dinner Saturday night was at John Besh's Luke restaurant, where I had roy oysters and crab-filled ravioli. Sunday morning, I stopped by Royal Blend Cafe to have a latte and read the newspaper. For Sunday brunch, I popped across the street from my hotel to Mr. B's for some music and Eggs Benedict. After brunch, I went to check out the Road Food Festival being held along Royal Street, which featured a beignet eating contest with local firefighters. Next was a stop at Molly's, another of my favorite bars in the Quarter, and then next door to Coop's Place for some gumbo. It was Tennessee Williams Festival in the Quarter, and I was there for the Stella Shoutout Contest. For my last dinner in New Orleans this weekend, I joined two of my friends, Alicia and Buddy, at their favorite restaurant, Muriel's. I had the wood-grilled pompano over arugula salad with pesto topping. On my last day of the trip, I went for lunch at the Acme Oyster House, where I had charbroiled oysters with garlic sauce. And my friend Alicia found a handful of pearls in one of her oysters. A charming end to a wonderful trip down to the town they call the Big Easy.